my loot, my item window set up to automatically put things in my bag. So you can see we got the thick embalming fluid and we got the corpse stitching twine. Normally you would have to just do a nice little right click on that window that opens up. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty smooth. Again, World of Warcraft, they make this game very, very easy on you. You know, you can take a look at this eye. It's kind of creepy. Nice Halloween themed zone. There's some guards down here. They're basically just there to stop people from trying to kill each other down here. It's not that important. So we'll run back. We'll go back to my buddy Mordo here. We'll talk to Mordo, and Mordo will say that he'll tell us where we found the items. So if I had read that, I would have known where to go. But I already know where to go. So now he wants us to kill 6 mindless zombies. Excuse the coughing into the mic. I'm not used to talking just yet, as this being my first Let's Play, so I'm really going to try to keep a hold of that. And it looks like anybody with an exclamation mark wants something from you. It's sort of like, what's a good metaphor for that? This game is full of lazy people, and these lazy people, they never move. Like, you know, he could just go out in there and kill the mindless zombies that he wants us to kill for himself, but he refuses to. He is indignant. He requires us to do it for him. Because he's lazy. So we're gonna go talk to Caretaker Case here. Oh man, my brutal pronunciation. So we right click on him because he had that exclamation mark, and he's gonna give us another quest. So he's gonna want us to speak with Marshal Redpath, Lillian Voss, and Valdrin Moray, who are standing all over the place. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go smack these zombies around. So our introduction to combat begins here. So the first thing we need to do is we need to. You notice that if you target enemies you can kill, it brings up a little sword. That's just the game sort of trying to give you an indication that you can kill this guy, and you'll notice that the sword comes in and out of color. That's telling you that, like, from right now you can't attack him because you're out of range. So if you right click this mindless zombie, you'll go into attack mode. There'll be some swords here. Your character will flash red. And back in the day we used to be able to actually build up our rage meter just by doing this, but they patched that out a long time ago. So we're going to walk up to the mindless zombie and smack him. Because we've right clicked, we'll just swing. Okay, and then we'll notice our red bar is increasing. That's our rage bar. Our rage bar goes up whenever we hit something or something hits us. So it's all about anger. Warriors don't have very good anger management. So now that we have it, our ability Strike actually came up, and we can hit one and perform an attack. The auto swing damage, or our auto attack, is shown to us by the floating white text. Anytime we use an ability or a spell or an attack, it'll show up as yellow on the combat text. So with this little rat, if I hit strike on him, you notice that there's a 10 damage. That was our strike. Okay, our strike has a 3-second cooldown. It costs 20 rage. And it's a simple strike that deals 13 damage once I have sufficient rage. This is your sort of basic little training wheels ability that they give warriors. They never used to have it. It's really nice to have. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to hunt us some mindless zombies. So again, left click targets, right click turns our auto attack on, or our swing timer, which allows us to bash. And then every time we have sufficient rage, we're going to hit that one button. And where the sort of, I was talking earlier about the spamminess comes in, is when you're waiting for that ability to cool down, you get impatient. So if you watch right here, I'm trying to press that button because I want it to come up as soon as its cooldown's over. You don't have to do that. That's just a bad habit I get into because I'm impatient. So something I probably have been ignoring, but I will tell you about, we'll turn our swing timer on and kill this zombie, is that monsters drop goodie bags. You remember earlier I was talking about our trick-or-treat bag down here? We can open that by hitting B. Well, these guys that we're trick-or-treating from sometimes will drop items. And that guy gave us 2 copper, which goes directly into our bag. Sometimes they'll drop swords or shields or pants, or every once in a while you'll find, like, I don't know, some ichor and, you know, zombie juice and things like that. All those sorts of really good treats that you might think a Lichy would like to have in her backpack. So when you defeat an enemy, reduce their life total, which is represented here to 0, they will get all glittery. You can still target them. See how they get all glittery? Shiny shine. So you right click and it'll bring up the loot window, and the loot then goes into your backpack. Again, I have a setting in the user face that'll do it automatically so that we don't have to actually click it twice. Just makes things a little bit easier. So now there's like a big shiny arrow thing. I don't think the game needs this, but Blizzard does a very good job of easing people in. So this guy's name is Valdred Moray, and he's one of the guys we're required to speak to for the Awakening. So we'll talk to him. He says, you know, what he says. And I say, don't you remember me? You died. Or don't you remember you died? He says, and you say, calm down, Valdred. Undertaker Mordo probably sowed some new ones. I'm not going to read this. Anyway, we click the text bubbles. Okay, and eventually he'll say something to us in the chat. He says, I see, blah, 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 and we've completed our quest objective by talking to him, and he's gonna walk. There's our headless horseman. So he's gonna walk back to Undertaker, and this brings up one of the sort of the more interesting finer points of World of Warcraft, that you're gonna get multiple quests, and it's always better to finish more and turn them in all at once than it is to go finish one, run back to the Undertaker, go out, finish one, run back, because that takes additional time, and we like to level quickly. Kill a rat. Hurrah! Okay, so we got another arrow.
Now.
This is Lillian Moss, so we'll talk to her,
Embrace the shadow.
and we'll send her back. We'll get a nice update, and we'll do it again. Pretty straightforward. Just talk to them. I would encourage you to read everything, because it doesn't really increase the flavor of the game. I've played so much World of Warcraft that it's just it's sort of dead on me. You know, I've done it so many times.
Speak quickly.
So here we have Mordo. So now Mordo is giving us something that we're going to complete the quest. We have a choice between flax gloves or the battered cloak. Flax gloves are cloth, and warriors use mail and plate. So we're not really interested in cloth. We're going to take the battered cloak by clicking on it with our left click. We hit complete. We leveled up, which is what happens when this purple bar goes full. Leveling is sort of the goal of this period of the game. It's how you develop as a character. It's how you become stronger. So we'll hit B to open up our bag, and then we have this battered cloak in our bag. There's two ways that we can put this battered cloak on our character. The first way is to pick it up by holding the left click and dropping it into the slot that says back here, or on our paper doll. Alright, then we'll equip it. The other way, what we can do is we can actually go right click on the battered cloak and it'll auto equip it for us. So that gives us a nice little split pea green / barf yellow cloak that we can wear. So this is essentially all of the different pieces of equipment that we can equip. And it shows us that we have a couple of pieces of armor on our character right now. So, yeah, we're using a worn greatsword, and we have our recruit's recruit's pants and recruit's boots. All this stuff will get better. This arrow here will give us even more detailed statistics, which I'll go over sort of as we develop as a character. But for now, we'll just put it back there. Close that window. So now we're gonna go turn in our quest, Awakening to Caretaker Case. He's going to give us copper and XP. We're going to say thank you. Now he wants us to speak with Death Guard Sultan at Death Knell in Tier 12 raids. And you'll notice immediately that in our mini-map window there's a question mark here. That's indicating for us where we should go. So we'll follow the pathway all the way down. There's some auto-run features so you don't have to hold the keyboard by pressing numlock or back mouse button if you're lucky enough to have a fancy mouse like I do. It's raining, of course, you know, this being the Undead Zone. It's not a very dreary place. Lots of droopy plants and the like. So all of a sudden things get a little bit more interesting. There's some flags up and a mailbox and actually a neat little glowy lantern. I didn't really notice that before. You won't believe how many things I've noticed learning how to record. It's amazing. Okay, so Death Guard Sultan has some jobs for us, and actually Death Guard Sultan has some other rewards for when we finish. These bracers will, we can try them on by shift. You can see the blue armbands there. So we'll accept. Then if you notice, there's a couple of things on our mini-map. I'll move away so that we can see it a little bit better. Maybe I'll zoom in. Ah, there we go. Okay, so there's an exclamation mark here that says Shadow Priest. That means this guy has a quest, and because it's faded a little bit, I don't know if you guys can see that very well on the YouTube video, but it is faded. It means he's inside the house. There's also a book here. This guy is going to teach us all of our nice little warrior toys. All of these things here. Well, not all of them. Some of them, you know, you have to be like level 85 to get. And ooh, rallying cry. What's that? There's some new abilities. Oh, I see. There's some new abilities in the game that I haven't played with yet, since I haven't played, essentially, since the release of Cataclysms. Wow, you get heroic throw at 20? That's awesome. Alright, so, what was I doing? Butterfly. Let's go talk to Shadow Priest Sarvis. If you guys have a real problem with mispronunciation, yeah. You might want to either, I mean, you can comment and make fun of me if you want, that's also fine, but Sarvis here, or Sarvis, is the way I did it before, Sarvis. He's got a big exclamation mark, which is like, hey, stupid, do something for me. So we'll talk to him, and he also has some rewards. He's got our scavenger's tunic, which we can put on, and it gives us a nice little blue boob plate there. That'll be good to have. But he also has legs, so we'll actually have to make a choice. So he wants us to kill 8 undead outsiders. So we've gotten those 2 quests. So we'll go to our quest log here. You can open your quest log up by pressing L. I think there's other ways to do it, but I'm just going to go ahead and assume that you'll press L. So we have to gather 6 corpses, so we'll hold shift click, put that up there, and we have to kill 8 Scourge. So we can do these in any order. The game doesn't really care. If you wanted to do them one by one, you know, very slow and steady, you can do that too. I know people who, you know, they prefer to play that still. Bunny rabbit. So here's one of the dead Scarlet guys. He's part of a faction called the Scarlet Crusade. Where are you? Maybe he'll just come. Okay, there he is.
What would you
There's
ask
Darnell,
of death?
following us around. So we're gonna. It brings up a context menu again. This game has a few different mouse contexts. So we'll right-click the little cog there, and we'll do a point. And Darnell here is gonna pick him up and put him on his shoulder and carry him like a sack of potatoes, like my dad used to do when I didn't want to go to bed before school. Right, so here we've got a Rattlecage skeleton. This is one of the undead we need to kill. You can see in the tooltip in the bottom corner that he counts because it says Scourge on our perimeter as part of the tooltip down there. There's a lot of informative tooltips in that corner. It'll tell you what all your abilities do. It'll tell you, you know, where your mouse is and all of those kinds of good things. So you could turn those off if, you know, you don't like them there, but I like them there because I like to know I'm killing the right thing. So again, combat right now is pretty simple. We strike as soon as we can. Use our strike ability. We loot when the guy dies, and we go looking for more. It's pretty straightforward. The game gets more interesting as you play, but right now they're just trying to ease you in, you know, like an old man into a nice warm tub. Just trying to get you to be comfortable, so you'll give them all your money and play this game forever. The pop-ups you're noticing are experience gain. Every time you kill a monster, you get a nice bit of experience. I guess it's not gonna show that here, but here, another body. So we will click the body and point at it, and Darnell's gonna lift it up. Now he's got 2 bodies on him. Getting kind of ridiculous. But since Darnell is not really a person, he's not gonna mind carrying those around while we do other things. So we're gonna kill a Rattlecage skeleton, and this early zone is pretty gentle on newer players. These guys are yellow. Their names are yellow, which means that they will not attack you if you attack one of their friends. Usually, if you do attack one of these guys' buddies and their name is red, not yellow, they will come to rescue their friend, and they'll gang up on you. So this sort of one-at-a-time stuff is quite nice early on, but don't get used to it, because monsters love to dogpile. So we'll